Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be sharing everyone's favorite, which is a biryani recipe. So you all know everyone loves biryani, and so I thought, okay, let me share my tips and tricks of how I make biryani. I've learned this recipe from my grandmother and also from my mother, and also they've been making biryani since my childhood. I've been seeing and looking at how they make it. So I've also started making biryani since I got married, because my husband loves biryani, and I have used my tricks and tips that I'm going to be sharing. And also at the end, there's a tip that where I give a smoky flavor to the biryani. So I've learned this special technique from my friend, who recommended for me. So her name is Sav. She lives in here in Melbourne. So that special technique is very nice. I've used it, and it gives this very special flavor to the biryani. The biryani turned out very delicious. So please try out this recipe and let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this recipe, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So for the ingredients, I've got two big sized onions and one medium sized onions thinly sliced, and I've got one handful of coriander leaves and handful of mint leaves. I've just chopped it finely, and then I've got three green chilies slit, two medium sized tomatoes chopped, and I've got salt to taste, 1.5 tablespoon of chili powder, 1 tablespoon of coriander powder, and for the spices I've got 4 cloves, and 4 cardamom, 4 to 5 cardamom, cinnamon sticks. I've got about 4, and then 2 fresh bay leaves. Ginger garlic paste, about 4 to 5 tablespoons. 1 cup of curd or yogurt, and then I've got the meat cooked. This meat I've cooked for about 4 to 5 whistles in the pressure cooker. I have added salt and also turmeric powder to give the color to the meat. So cooking the meat in the pressure cooker makes the biryani easier for you to cook. Otherwise, it's totally optional if you cook the meat with the masala, like without pressure cooker. That's fine. So this biryani method is very quick, and yeah, let's get started. So I've got a nice big pot here. I've added the oil. I've used rice bran oil here. I'm using about 100 ml or less than 100 ml oil. Probably around half a cup of oil. That would be sufficient because you already have the fat content in the meat, so otherwise it will be too oily. So once the oil is nice and hot, so the oil is nice and hot now. So now we're going to add the spices. I'm adding the cardamom and the cloves. Add in the cinnamon stick. Let it sizzle for about 1 minute, and then we can add the bay leaves. So now add in the bay leaves. You can see it's started to splutter now. So next, after this, I'm going to be adding the onions. Onions will look a lot, but after they are cooked or sauteed, it reduces into half a size. So we're just going to saute this for about 2 minutes until it gets golden brown. It takes about 2 to 5 minutes. And if you want to cook the onions always faster, better tip to add a bit of salt. So keep it on medium flame. So now you can see it's almost getting brown. So at this point we need to add the ginger garlic paste. So now I'm adding the ginger garlic paste. This is 4 to 5 tablespoons. So now just saute. After adding the ginger garlic paste, you need to saute for about 5 minutes, because this ginger garlic paste and the onions need to get little more browner. So then we can add in the other ingredients. So just leave it about for 5 minutes. So now the onions and the ginger garlic paste is almost brown. It's about 5 minutes already. So after this, I'm going to be adding the chopped mint leaves and the coriander leaves and the green chilies. So add in everything. And then the trick is, after every 5 minutes, once you have added the onions, the spices and the onions, after that, after every 5 minutes, you need to add the rest of the ingredients. So that's the trick. Don't leave it for too long. Just 5 minutes for each. So after this, like after I add the coriander and the mint, wait for about 5 more minutes, and then we add the tomatoes. So like that after every 5 minutes. So now I've already added the tomatoes. As you can see, the tomatoes are nice and mushy now. I waited for about 5 minutes. Now at this point, I'm going to add all the spice powders. First, I'm going to add the chili powder. Next is the coriander powder. And salt as per taste. I've already added salt in meat, so if you don't add salt to the meat, you add more in this gravy. So now I'm going to saute for about 2 more minutes, and then we add the yogurt. So now I'm going to add the yogurt. Just mix everything, combine with the gravy. So I've added in the meat, the cooked meat now. With the masala, just mix everything. Check for the salt, and now I'm going to close the lid and wait for about 10 minutes. Just keep it in very low flame and let the gravy get cooked. So the next step is, I have washed the basmati rice. So I'm using about half a kilo of basmati rice. You can see I've washed it only once. You don't need to wash it more than one time, because the flavor of the basmati rice you can lose the flavor of the basmati rice. So usually I don't wash it many times. So I've just washed it once and I've soaked the basmati rice now. So I soak the basmati rice when we do the gravy. Halfway between when the gravy is cooking, I soak the rice, and I have kept water for boiling. That is for the rice to cook. So in this pot I'm going to cook the rice. So once the water boils, for example, you need to see all the bubbles coming. So at that point we need to add the soaked rice. So I'm soaking the rice for about 30 minutes. Soaking the rice is very important. If you skip that, your basmati rice won't get longer enough. So you need to get the double the size of the rice, right? Because you can see in the restaurants all the basmati rice are a bit longer. So that's important. So it's better to soak the rice for 30 minutes. Meanwhile, with the gravy, let's check what's happening here. So you can see it's started to get all the bubbles here. You just give it a bit of stir to the gravy. To my biryani, I won't add any artificial colors, but it's totally up to you. You can add any color, any food color, but I don't usually add, because I keep it natural. The chili powder itself gives a natural orangish red color, so that itself is sufficient. So at this point I'm going to shift this pot to the smaller flame, like smaller stove, the smaller gas. So the flame isn't too high there, so I keep it on low flame on the smaller burner. Okay, so now you can see the gravy is simmering. So I've kept it in a very low burner, like you can't barely can see the flame because the pot is bigger. So I've just kept it in very low flame. So let's check on the rice now. I've closed the lid. So the rice is almost it started to boil. You can see the bubbles. So now is the time to add in the rice. So I've added in the rice now, and now I'm adding about half a teaspoon of salt. So check for the salt. This water needs to be salty. We've added salt to the gravy as well, so when the rice is cooking, the water should be salty. Only then it will be equally like perfect, the consistency of the gravy and the biryani. The salt will be correct. So this needs to be salty. And once you added the rice, it should not cook for more than 5 minutes. So just give 5 to 6 minutes time maximum, and after that we can drain the rice. So now you can see the rice, which is just, it easily breaks, and you can see it's a bit longer. So this is the time where we drain the rice. So I'm going to be adding juice of half a lemon. Now you can see I've added in the rice. So just spread it. The masala will be at the bottom. Next I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of ghee. This adds a bit of extra flavor to the biryani. So now you can see, guys, I'm not going to be completely mixing the biryani with the gravy. I'm just going to toss it here and there, toss it between here and there. Just, it's going to be like a layer type of biryani, so here and there, just to give a bit of color to that, color and texture, like a restaurant style biryani. So here, so the mostly the lot of gravy at the bottom. So just do like this, level it up, and then close the lid. Leave it for about 5 minutes on high flame, and then we are going to reduce the flame after 5 minutes to very low flame. Keep it about for about 15 minutes, okay, on dum. Now you can see I had kept it for about 15 minutes now on dum. I have kept something heavy. I forgot to tell you guys that. I've kept mortar pestle that's very heavy. So it's about 15 minutes now. Let's check on the biryani. So the tip is 5 minutes on high flame, and I had reduced the flame for about another 10 minutes. So now let's check the biryani. So here you go guys, it's ready. Now what I'll do is I'll switch off the flame. Here I've got charcoal. I'll be using a bit of charcoal to give that smoky flavor. I've put some ghee on it so it releases the smoke. So this is totally optional. So I'm going to keep this plate inside the pot of the biryani so it gives a bit of smoky flavor. This is totally optional. So you can see I kept it, and now I'll keep it for about 5 more minutes. That's it. If you keep more than that, the smoky flavor will be too much and it will overpower the biryani. So now you can see the grains have become double in size and the biryani is ready. I'm just going to fluff the rice a bit like this. So now you got the restaurant style, which is non-sticky and just perfectly cooked. So if you follow my tips, you will get this type of biryani. So here you go, the biryani is ready to be served, and hope you like this video. Please do try and provide your comments and feedback. Like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye.